Hi everyone, my name is Magdalena Fuentes. I am a postdoctoral fellow at NYU Marl, and I'm going to present MONYC, the Music of New York City Dataset. This work is a collaboration with our artist student Danielle Zhao, Vincent Lostanlen, Mark Cartwright, Charlie Mydlarz, and Juan Bello. To give you a bit of context about this work, our motivation to create this dataset was that although music is a fundamental component of urban life, as you might have experienced seeing street musicians or hearing music from bars and restaurants, our understanding of the musical soundscape of cities is very limited. This is because there are very few resources to investigate this, and particularly few data resources to train or evaluate any model for the detection or retrieval of street music information. So the first step to be able to validate any approach for understanding street music is to curate data, and that's what MONYC is. It is the first of its kind dataset of street music that reveals how music manifests itself in a real-world setting among social interactions in an urban context. Music clips in MONYC generally have low signal-to-noise ratio, are picked up at far-field distances with variant levels of noise from other sources present in urban life. As an example, here there are three music genres present in DCASE, a commonly used genre dataset in music information retrieval, and MONYC.
With the lottery, possibly they spotted me. Battle scarred shogun, explosion when my pen hits.
Just had another talk about
To collect MONYC, we deliver data-driven and self-supervised methods for sampling and curating a diverse set of music clips that our team could annotate in several different steps. The audio recordings come from the Sonic Sensor Network. Sonic is a multi-year project for monitoring noise pollution in New York City, which has sensors deployed in different parts of the city, capturing audio and sound pressure levels. To date, Sonic has acquired 250 million 10-second clips, equivalent to 80 years of audio sensor data, making it one of the largest datasets of urban sounds worldwide. Out of those 250 million clips captured in more than 5 years of project, we focus on 2017, which is the first year that Sonic has complete data for the entire year, yielding to 30 million clips, still too much for any human to deal with. So we subsampled the clips to 1 per minute and restricted our dataset to 15 out of the 26 sensors for a total of 5.8 million clips. Since we are interested in creating a dataset of street music, we have to somehow filter clips that have musical content. For that, we used a pre-trained urban sound tagging model that our team created for an urban sound tagging challenge in DCASE, which tags different classes of urban sounds, such as alert signal engines, but also music. We selected clips that the model predicted as containing music, yielding to 94,000 clips. 94,000 clips is still a lot to annotate, so we still had to then sample a bit more. And for that, we did what we call uniform spatial temporal sampling, which is that for each location, so for each sensor, we randomly select 2,000 examples while preserving the yearly temporal distribution of the recordings for each sensor. So the ratio between the clips in the different months. That was yield to 30,000 clips. Finally, to get the final cohort of recordings to a reasonable size for annotations, we repeated the spatial temporal sampling using an algorithm called determinant point processes implemented in the DPPy library, which in general terms samples maximizing the acoustic diversity of the resulting sample, meaning that it will provide a more diverse set of musical signals than a randomized sampling method. And that was up down to 3,000. Finally, 4 annotators proceeded to annotate the 3,000 remaining clips. Each clip was annotated by 2 of them. And the annotation process can be summarized in 3 main stages. First, we listened to all these 3,000 clips and filter out those that actually had audible music, which were roughly half of them. Then we annotated the genre of the music and 4 binary tags, whether the music is live or recorded, loud or quiet, single instrument or multi-instrument, and whether the non-music sources are present. And finally, we solved disagreements between annotators to have a reliable set of labels. That yield to 1,500 approximately number of clips. Now, let's take a look at the trends the data shows in MONYC. Unlike other genres datasets where pop and rock are the most common genres, in MONYC, the top genres are hip hop and jazz. And if we break down the genres by whether they're live or playback, we see that most genres are recorded except for jazz and drumming, which are mostly live. If we look at the temporal dimensions of the data breaking down by the number of clips per different months of the year, days of the week, and hour of the days, we also see interesting trends. For instance, we observe that there are more music clips towards the summer months and less in winter, that the average amount of music on weekends is bigger than during the week, except on Thursdays, that there are concerts nearby a couple of our sensors, as you can see. And we also notice that the appearance of genres usually correlates with events like St. Patrick's in March and Celtic music. Looking at the spatial dimension of the data, we see how live genres like jazz have a bigger presence around parks than other like hip hop or pop, which are more spread out at different locations. And finally, we did a first experiment to get a sense of how machine learning models that were built for music tagging using clean data sets would perform in MONYC. For that, we use the musician tagger from Pons and Serra, which is an out-of-the-box tagger and is used for tagging 12 genres in MONYC that overlap with the taxonomy. And the mean rock score is 50%, which is low compared to the 90% score achieved in other data sets. This shows that models trained in clean studio recorded data need adaptation to work with music in the wild, which is what we can do now for MONYC. In conclusion, we present MONYC, the first of its kind open data set of music in urban settings, which opens the possibility to develop and evaluate music models, for classification of street music. These types of model open exciting possibilities of looking at behavioral patterns related to human activities in urban contexts through music, such as nightlife, festivals, celebrations, and others. The dataset is open for the research community, and we hope you enjoy it. Thanks for your attention.